back to the Patrick Lane Show, where we talk about personal finance, investing, and real estate. Do me a favor, right out of the gate, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that little notification bell. We really appreciate your support and helping us to get our videos out to other people. Now, today was supposed to be one of those gamma squeeze, short squeeze days for GameStop GME. But what happened? Nothing really. It just sort of went sideways. I mean, we were up, 1.7% or something like that. So it really wasn't a big moving day. And a lot of people are upset about that. A lot of people have are complaining about it, wondering why it didn't happen if it was supposed to happen today. And the fact of the matter is that while there was a lot of due diligence on the social media platforms, particularly Reddit, Wall Street Bets, and the others, that today was going to be some sort of a pop in the price, it also, is taken with a grain of salt because people are just trying to do the best they can with the information that's been provided to them by the public sources such as the SEC and FINRA, and doing their own sort of background due diligence, digging into the financials of companies, short sellers, traders, investors, and all of those. So it's one of those things that if you pay attention and you get hyped and you get, really tied into a specific date, you're going to be upset when something that you think is going to happen on one particular day doesn't happen. And that's what we had today. Let's keep in mind that if you are an investor in GameStop, this week, today, that's true that you were only up, about 1.7% when everybody expected it to go to the moon today, right? The rocket ship was supposed to take off. This was supposed to be part of the gamma squeeze or short squeeze that would go to the moon. But the fact of the matter is that even today, when it was only up 1.7%, if you're a holder, if you're diamond hands on GME, and you look back at the gains that have been made just this week, then you're doing pretty well. Of course, this isn't financial advice. Let's get that out of the way. The fact of the matter is that if we all educate ourselves, we'll understand that this week has been pretty good for people who are holding GameStop. From Monday, when it opened at 154.89, to today when it closed at 264.50, that's up almost $110 in 1 week, and that's almost 71%. Now, if you go back on any other stock that you've got in your portfolio, if you go talk to anybody in your family or a financial advisor professional, and you say, hey, I got 71% increase of 71% growth in my stock portfolio in 1 week, they're going to think that that is a pretty great result and a pretty great return on your investment. Now, does that mean that there's more room to run? Possibly. Does it mean that you're at the absolute height right now and it could drop off later on? Yeah, that's a possibility too. We just don't know. Now, nothing has fundamentally changed with the company. Obviously, we still have Ryan Cohen out there. He's doing all of these cryptic tweets that are kind of funny sometimes, and we're not sure what he's trying to say. If he's trying to say anything, he may not be saying anything about GameStop. Maybe he's just trying to make a funny joke and see how far he can get a tweet to go. But if we pay attention to those tweets, we think maybe there's something going on, but we certainly know that he's in charge of the turnaround at GameStop. We know that from the press release back on Monday that set up the strategic turnaround committee and is going to be going forward to reshape GameStop into the digital commerce gaming giant that we think that it's going to turn into. And so we certainly know that that option is out there. We know that they're working behind the scenes. We know they're making big moves to ensure that GameStop is transitioning from this digital, or transitioning from this brick and mortar dead bankrupt company, as all of the mainstream media and the the paper hands and the people who don't want to support investing in GameStop, all of them are saying that it's just a dead, old-fashioned retailer. But we know from the moves that they're making behind the scenes and the little bit that gets leaked out that they're really focusing on transforming into a digital gaming e-commerce powerhouse. And so if you're holding this week, I think you've got a lot to be happy about, because we've made 71% return just this week from open to close, from Monday to Friday, and you still have the prospect of the repeating gamma squeeze. Now keep in mind that the gamma squeeze is about the market maker and whether or not the market maker has to cover those shares. And again, on a previous video that we did, we talked about how the market makers have to typically cover about 10% of the shares that they sell in call options. So if people are buying call options, if you buy one call option, that's the equivalent of 100 shares. So that market maker who sells you that call option, typically with any other stock, is going to go out and buy maybe 10 shares of that, because they're not sure whether or not it's going to actually be exercised, whether you're going to exercise your call option contract. So with these GameStop shares, though, a lot of these call options are hanging out there, and you can get on the information and look how many call options there were today, how many call options are expiring next Friday. And that sort of sets up that repeating gamma squeeze where the amount of call options goes up, and therefore the number of shares that they have to go buy to cover goes up, and therefore the price is driven up. So it's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down in a gamma squeeze until in the end it finally pops. So that's the gamma squeeze. And then of course we still have the short squeeze out there that is still a possibility, although all of the data, the official reported data, and I'll say self-reported data, is showing that the short squeeze, or the shorts outstanding compared to the percent of float, has come down quite a bit. I mean, it's, if you believe the reported information, then it's very, very low, that percentage of shorts compared to the float out there. It's in the 30%, 40% range. But there's also this factor of the ETFs that are coming in that have the GameStop shares in them. And of course, we did the video a little while back on how the ETFs can issue those shares, how the hedge funds can short those shares and then convert the ETF share into the individual shares of those underlying stocks if they want to. So that's another way that hedge funds could cover if they have shorts out there. So now, all of that being said, obviously, nobody knows exactly when. You can't peg an exact day that it's going to happen. But you can see, if we look at how the price goes up and down, we can sort of see the pattern develop for the gamma squeeze. And those are things that are still yet to happen, and we're just going to have to see what happens. Now, a lot of people are upset that it didn't happen today when everyone talked about it happening today. But the fact of the matter is that it can happen over and over and over and over. So it's a repeating cycle, or it could be, it has the potential to be a repeating cycle. So while today it didn't obviously happen at basically a flat day on the market, that's nothing to be disheartened about if you like GameStop and if you like the stock and if you're going to hold the stock. Now, if you're just trying to time the market and play the market, maybe today wasn't your best day because you thought something was going to happen and it didn't. But in the end, if you like the stock and you like GameStop as a company, this week with 73% growth was a pretty good week for you. So that's a recap of what's happened this week. We're going to look to what happens next week. As you know from the last video I posted, a lot of people are talking about putting their stimulus checks directly into the stock market, and a lot of those are talking about GME and AMC as where they're going to dump their stimulus checks. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they should be spending that on the items that Congress intended, but based on the social media out there, it's probably going to go a different direction. Tell me what you think. Was this week a good week for GME? Was it a thumbs up week? Was it a thumbs down week? Are you still diamond hands on GME? Or do you think this is it and it's over? There's not going to be a gamma squeeze. There's not going to be a short squeeze. And it's probably going to go down next week. Or do you think that the price will run up if and when people put their stimulus check money into the stock market, and specifically GME and AMC? So I'd appreciate those comments down below. And I really appreciate you tuning in today. I hope if you've got something entertaining or educational out of this video, that you will smash that like button, hit that subscription button, and ring that little notification bell. We really appreciate you helping us to grow the channel and push out the videos to more people who are interested in hearing about investing, personal finance, and real estate. And we'll see you in the next video.